I'm Dr. Seema Matre, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at Kite Group of Institutions, Ghaziabad. My dear students, welcome to JavaScript. Today, I'm going to cover the topic events, event handling, and about error and the exception handling. So let us start. So what are events basically? They are any external occurrence. It is the change in the state of an object. Means if it is an off condition and if you push it, it becomes on. So the pushing, on the base of the push, the state of the object gets changed. So this is called the change in the state of an object. JavaScript applications perform actions as a response to events. An event is a signal from the browser that something has happened, and the process of reacting over the event is called event handling. Thus, JavaScript handles the HTML events via event handlers. So, an event occurs as a result of some activity. And what are those activity? For example, when a user clicks on a link in a page, what happens as soon as we click on a link of that page? The reference which is associated with that link get opened. What happens as soon as the page finished loaded? Then something happens. Mouse cursor enters an area. Then what happens? Some action is performed. The color get changed, or a message get anything. A preset amount of time elapses. So in that case, what happens? Maybe uh, any function may called, window may shut down, or any action can be performed. Or what happens when a form is being submitted. So these are called the events, and on the basis of the events, there occurs some uh, some uh, some action. Okay, some activity has been performed. So JavaScript provides events and event handler to handle user interaction. As soon as we perform any change, any action, so what happens? On the basis of the action, some response comes. Any event we perform, so on the basis of that event, some action get performed, some response get evolved. So that response, it means we have handled our event. For example, we have clicked any button. So what we have done, we have performed an event. What is the event? Click. We have just clicked a button. So click is an event. And what will happen on the as soon as we click the button? That is called an event handler. What will happen? The action which is played in response to that event is called event handler. Okay. So event handler means the piece of code. It is usually a function which get executed when an event occurs. We can specify event handlers as attributes in HTML tag. The attribute names typically takes the form of on XXX, means it can be replaced with any event name. For example, on click, on submit, like this. So here, what we have done, we have given a reference to something when on click. As soon as we click, what will happen? What will happen? There will be an alert window appears with the message buy. Okay, so the different events are there which are associated with the devices. For example, the events, the event handler that associated with the mouse. So action, that is or the event which is performed on click of the mouse. So click is the event, and event handler is on click, means when mouse is click on an element. On mouse over, it means when the cursor of the mouse comes over the element, what will happen? So this on with the help of this on, and then which is followed by this name of the event. So this is the event. Click is the event. Mouse over is the event. Mouse out, mouse down, mouse up, mouse move. These are the events, and these are the event handler. Means whenever we will do such type of event, on click, on mouse over, on mouse, what will happen? So these are the event handler. Means any method, any function will be get associated with this handler. Only then the event can be handled. So we have to write on click. What will happen on click? So on the basis of that event, some action get performed, a function get executed. So we have to write, we will associate any function to this event handler. So whenever we will do this event click, so on click, that particular function will generate or will happen. Will that action will be taken. So when we will click, when mouse click on an element, mouse over, when the mouse cursor comes over the element, on mouse out means when the cursor of the mouse leaves that element, on mouse down means when the mouse button is pressed, mouse up when the mouse button is released over the element, on mouse move when the mouse movement takes place. What will happen? So these are the events associated with the mouse. The next one is keyboard events. So in keyboard, the event performed is key down and key up. And event handler is on key down means when the key is pressed, on key up means when the key is released. What will happen? What action will be performed? We have to write a piece of code over this event handler. Then form event. So on the form, on focus means when the user focuses on any element. On submit, when the user submit the form. On blur, blur means when the focus is away from the form element. On change, when the user changes the value of a form element. So these are the events and event handler associated with the form. The next one is window or document event. So event is load, handler is onload. Means when the browser finishes the loading of the page, what will happen? On unload means when the visitor leaves the current web page, the browser unloads it. So what will happen? On unload. On resize, when the visitor change the size or resizes the window of the browser, what will happen? What action will be performed? It get written on this event handler. Now we move to programs on the events. So first of all, load event. So what we have done, as soon as the body or the above web page it get loaded, what will happen? As soon as our web page get loaded on the browser, on load, what will happen? An alert window get arised, evolved with the message welcome to this page. Okay, then this onload we have done, and finally we come to our HTML document, document.write, and here we along with that we display our own message that the page is loaded successfully. That when the page is loaded, that's why we can see the message. It means a page has been loaded, and we have given the event over here that as soon as a page get loaded, a small window will get over there, alert window with this message. Now click event. So in the form we have made a button, and what we have done, on click, it means as soon as we click the button, the click event method will be called, and the value written over the button. This button, they are written click the subject. So there will be a button written over it, click the subject, and as soon as we click that button, so on click, this is your event handler. It will handle it. That as soon as you click, the click event function will get executed. So from here, the control moves here, click event, and it will display this message. This is the proof that we have done this event. Okay, we have done this event. Which event? Click event. And as soon as we do the click, the event handler, the function associated with that on click will get displayed. Okay, and this message will be there on your screen. Mouse over event. So here, in the form of paragraph, a line we have written, keep cursor over me. Over. Okay, so as soon as we keep the mouse cursor over this written statement, what we have done, on mouse over. As soon as we keep the mouse over the particular statement, what will happen? This mouse over event, this method or this function will get executed. And what is written over here? Mouse over event, there will be alert, and the message will appear. WT is a hub of technologies. This message, this alert message will appear only and only when we move the mouse over that particular element. Next, focus event. In this, as soon as we put the focus over any element. In this case, input type is text, and the ID, the identity of that text box is input 1. And what we have done here, on focus, means as soon as we put the focus, we will try to move the cursor inside this text button, the focus event will be called. And what we have written in the focus event, in this case, as soon as we will try to put the focus on that text box, input 1, this ID we have used, this ID of the text box, and we have provided style dot background equal to yellow. So as soon as we focus, its color will be changed to yellow, and this is the output. We have tried it in the window in the browser. As soon as we run the program and we will try to put the focus over this text box, it color get changed. And after that we can see what we have written over there. Key down event. Key down means we have pressed any key. As soon as we press any key over that any element, then the event will be handled, event will be generated. Now what is that? Input type equal to text, ID is input 1. And on key down, as soon as we press any key on that text box, this method function will get executed as soon as we do this event key down. So key down event, there will be an alert window which will display a message, pressed a key. First of all, it will show an alert window, and after that it will show what key we have pressed in that text box. Okay, so this is on key down. Next one is submit event. The submit event is when we submit the form. There is a submit button. So as soon as we click the submit button, means we are submitting finally the form. In that case, it will call the validate function. So this is the program form, and on the form, on submit, as soon as we finally click the submit button, a validate function will be called. And another elements in the form are input box, text input type is text box will be there, and another one is submit button. So as soon as we click the submit button, means finally we are submitting the form, validate function will be called, and an alert window will come with the message text box must not be left blank. Okay, if ever we try to do this, so and finally we are submitting the form, it will alert us that your text box must not be left blank. So if on submit event handler return a false, data is not submitted, means if there is any issue, it our on submit is not satisfied, no data will be submitted. And there is another button, reset button. Again, if we haven't pressed or used the reset button and it returns false, means no reset action will be taken. Okay, form will be not reset. Now we move to the next topic, error and exception handling. We know exception, what does it does? It breaks the normal flow of our program. Normal execution, it break the normal execution of a program. Such exception needs specialized programming construct so that they can be handled. Okay, so exception handling is required, and it is a process or a method that is used to tackle with this abnormal statement. Those abnormal statements which are disturbing the normal flow of our program. So to, to treat to handle such abnormal statement, we require exception handling process. The type of errors which occurs in a program are basically classified into three types. Syntax error. This is related when a user makes a mistake in predefined syntax of a programming language, because every programming language has decided how to write in such a programming language. They have their own way of writing. They have own grammar. So if we don't follow, then there occurs the syntax error, and definitely the flow of the code will get disturbed. Runtime error. As the name indicates, runtime means those errors that occur during the execution of the program. The code which create runtime error at the time of execution of the program, such code are called exception. So we need exception handler for handling such runtime errors. Logical errors. Errors, they may not produce the result desired output. What we require, output comes, definitely output comes, but it is not that output which we have expected, and may sometimes terminate abnormally also when the logic is not correct. So that is called the logical errors. Now error object, because if error occurs, it can be handled, and we need the error object. And what is that? When a runtime error occurs, in that case, it creates and throws an error object which tells us what has happened, which type of error has occurred. So with the help of its message, with the help of its name, it tells us and help us to eradicate it. So an error object has two properties. One is name, which returns the name of the error, and message, which returns an error message in the string form. Okay, now the exception handling statements. With the help of these statements, we can handle if any exception occurs. Throw, try catch, and finally. They're very simple. Now, the try, whatever the code which needs possible error testing, which can produce any exception, they can be kept inside the try. The code which needs possible error testing, where there may be a chance error can occur, we will keep it inside the try. And if any error occurs, then in that case, it passes to the catch block because it is the task, it is a job of the catch to handle the error. If there is no exception, no error in those statements which are kept in the try, then it execute the code within. It will execute it normally. But if any error found, it will pass it to the catch. Now, what is the job of the catch? It handles the error of the code, which is passed by the try. It contains either user-defined exception handler or we can use a built-in handler. We can create our own exception. It executes this catch block. It executes when any errors need to be handled in the try block. Otherwise, there is no work of the catch. Catch will be skipped. Next statement is throw. With the help of throw, user can define and throw their own custom errors, UDE. On its execution, the statements present after it will not get executed. Because in case of catch, what happens? The try, as soon as the error found, it will pass it to the catch, catch will handle it, and it will continue with the rest of the program. It will not break in between. But in case of throw, on its execution, if the throw get executed, if any error found, the statement following it will not get executed. Okay, the control will directly pass to the catch block. Now it is the responsibility of the catch to handle it. So catch is statement execute only after the execution of the try statement. Also, one try block can contain one or more catch block. So here in this example, we have taken a variable a which contains such values. We are trying to display the value of a. No issue. A is present. It will display all the element of the a. But as soon as we will try to display the value of b, as b is undefined, and still we are trying to fetch its value. So what will happen? Catch block will be invoked because in the try it is found a is okay, but it didn't found b, so it passed the problem, the exception to the catch block. And with the help of the object E, name of the object, means whatever the exception has been passed, it has received in this object E. And the catch is displaying with the help of alert, there is an error which shows, and with the help of this E object, it is showing the message. Okay, it's message. What message has been there? So in this case, when B variable is not found, what happened? It will display this is error which shows B is not defined. This is the output which I have executed in the live server or the Visual Code. So you can also test this program over there. So this error came, this message came over there in the alert window. This is error which shows what E dot message means it will display its own message. And what is the message? That B is not defined. Okay, so in the case of try, exception occurred, and with the help of the catch, it got handled. And in this case, if we have written another rest of the program, it will also get executed in this case. Try catch we have done. Now the throw. What happens in the throw? Now num, enter a number, and we have given a range 1 to 20. By default, we have provided 1, which can be changed later on. Now we are checking if number is greater than 20, it will throw an error. It will throw the message error not allowed. Error means it is an error and not allowed. Else, if num is less than 1, it will throw this message error must not be below 1. Else means if it is another thing, means it is not beyond 20, greater than 20, nor it is less than 1. If suppose we have provided any string value or any other character, in that case, what will happen? It will generate an error. But if all is okay, you have done all the thing right, then in that case, it will give the message all well. Okay, document.write all well. So in this case, if any error occurs in case of greater than 20 or less than 1, it will throw this message, but it will not interrupt in between. Means if it is found, it will throw from here, it will be cached over there. And the message which throw has given, it will be received inside this object ERR. And then with the help of this alert window, we can find out type of ERR. What type of error has been occurred? Okay, and then it will print the message also. In this case, if we provide other value, means I have provided 1 to 20, then it's okay. It will give all well. And if we provide anything beyond 20, greater than 20, or other than 1 to 20, so it will display what type of message, that it is a string type of base. You are printing the type of error, no? So it will give the type of error. It is in the form of string, and the ERR means the message. It will display the message, and the message is error not allowed. Okay, means I have provided the value greater than 20. So this has been thrown inside the catch. It will be trapped. It will display the type of error. It is string, and along with the message, error not allowed. Try catch finally means if there is any problem, catch will trap it, and though it is catch trapped or not, whatever the statement written in finally will get definitely executed. The finally block is used when we want to display some critical messages to be displayed in any case. Either our exception handle or not, we doesn't bother for that, but our message, this message should must be displayed. So such type of message or statement must be kept in the finally block, because this is the block which definitely get executed in every situation. Here, in case of try, what we are doing, we are using plus operator and as well as multiplication operator. So this is the syntax error. We can't write like this. At one time, we are giving plus also and the multiplication operator also. It is a syntax error. So whenever we want to, we have evaluated and we are trying to evaluate such expression, definitely there is a problem. It is a syntax error. So in case of try, if it is trapped, it will move, pass it to the catch, and catch will handle it. Okay, document.write and exception code and all these things. ERR val. What is that? It is an error object because all errors have a name and a message property. Now, document.write error name. If we want to find out the name of the error, what type of error has been generated? What is the type of error it is? Type of error. So here, error err var dot name. Here it will give the error name. This is a syntax error, so it will give you the syntax error. And error message err var dot message. So what is the message associated with this error? That this token. Okay, because first of all it has plus, then we got the multiplication. Means it is not allowed away here. This operator is not allowed when already there is one operator. So finally, the output will be that it will give the name of the exception and the message, what message it has given, it will be displayed. And in that case, after all this exception handling, whatever written in the finally block will definitely get executed. The output is, it will start from here. Mm, try, try, the first statement is okay, try block begins here, try block begins. Now, as the exception has been caught, it create a syntax error. So try has followed this, it has passed the exception to the catch. Catch has used this object, and here it has just written the exception caught message. This output will be generated exception caught. After that, what we have done, we have tried to display the error name. It will be taken out with the help of this object err dot name. So it has given you the syntax error, and message associated with that object is unexpected token, this asterisk mark. Okay, after the catch block is executed, now the finally block will get definitely executed, where we have written finally block reached end by. Now, handling exception, how we can handle in our program. So for that, we use on error event handler. This method is associated with the window object. It is called whenever an exception occurs. Okay, so here we moved directly to the body. Here we have tried, because execution will start from the body. So here we have displayed the message document.tried, hello there, and we haven't closed the bracket. We haven't closed the bracket. And as soon as we write this statement in our window, so our form as soon as get executed, then here what we found, window on error. Basically, this is an event handler which is associated with the window object. So as soon as the browser, in the browser our window get executed, so window on error. So as soon as our program get executed and it found any exception, what happened? Error handler function get executed. There is no button, there is no any click event or any event you have to perform, because as soon as our document it got executed in the browser window, the window has found the error. This is the handler. It will look over there that there is a mistake. This will automatically generated and it will called error handler function, and it will give you an alert window. Error occurred message will be there. That's why your program get halted and you will come to know that there is some problem in my program, and then we come back and find out the problem, and then we find that, oh, there is missing this missing bracket, we haven't closed it, the method of write is not been closed. So when we executed the program in code, so in our live server, it shows this error, this alert window error occurred, like this. This is the output. You can execute the program in this manner. So today in this lecture, we covered the topics event, event handling, error, and exception handling. So that's all for today. Thank you.